The holidays are a time to feel and create joy. And what could be more joyous than the look on her face as she unwraps a stunning new jewelry piece from Blue Nile? How about getting 50% off your purchase? Blue Nile offers premium quality, priced below traditional retail. Their online experts are available 24/7 to answer any questions and make sure you've picked the perfect gift. For a limited time, you can get 50% off at BlueNile.com. That's 50% off at BlueNile.com.
Apple Gift Card is a practical gift that unlocks a world of entertainment and fun. You can send it via email or give a physical card to your loved ones. Your friends and family can spend it on their favorite Apple services, including Apple subscriptions. Apple Gift Card can be used to buy all things Apple. Products, accessories, apps, games, movies, TV shows, iCloud Plus, and more. Visit apple.com for details and to send Apple Gift Cards to your friends and family this holiday season.
Saturday. Christmas comes early.
Unbelievable! Welcome to this incredible scene.
Bills.
To the end zone!
Chargers.
It's a touchdown!
An exclusive NFL game.
That's fantastic!
Live in primetime.
Wow!
Only on Peacock.
With a Christmas gift to their fans. They're having some fun now.
Bills versus Chargers. Saturday, 7:30 Eastern. Exclusively on Peacock.
Hello and welcome to the Paddock and the Pavilion with Stephen Wallace. In each show, Stephen will interview someone connected to the world of horse racing or cricket.
Hello everyone. The England women's cricket team began their international summer at the end of June with a test match against South Africa. Joining me to review the action is former England centurion, Kathryn Leng. Welcome back to the Paddock and the Pavilion, Kathryn.
Thank you, Stephen. It's nice to be back in the saddle, so to speak.
I also went across the world, I wish I did, but to speak to international all-rounders Tina Goff from Germany and Roberta Moretti-Avery to get their thoughts on the test match, where we had the test match against South Africa, where we had 3 centuries, we had some brilliant catches, some exciting debutants. But after such a disappointing end, due to the rain on day 3 and 4, we had a draw. South Africa were 48 runs ahead with only 5 wickets remaining. And the burning question, Kathryn, should women's test matches be over 5 days?
Absolutely, yes. I think from entertainment and a result point of view, yes, 100%, yes. Looking at the other side of it, and we've talked about this before in previous podcasts, I think commercially it's probably not viable for the ECB to run an extra day, but there needs to be some leeway on that. I think women's Test cricket could get a good following if there was more of it, because it's just really exciting.
I mean, the game really was ruined with the last 2 days, the lack of cricket, and England now have drawn their last 5 test matches. We did have the really exciting Ashes test where England were 9 down and 12 short, but it would be better if you can get results.
Yeah, I mean, it would. I mean, you could put into play to have a reserve day as well for such circumstance, but it's just all. I always say this: Test cricket is every format of cricket. You know, it can be T20, it can be 50 overs. It just depends. Where you are in the game. It's got everything.
Yes, and the England captain Heather Knight said how much she looked forward to playing Test match cricket. Yeah,
the girls, both South Africa and England, just looked like they were having fun. And isn't that, what cricket's about? Okay, it's about England winning. But the girls just seem to absolutely relish it. You can feel the atmosphere. It's really buoyant. And they played it. Both sides played it in very good spirit. It was an absolute pleasure to watch. Not the result we wanted, like you said, but you can't really change the weather.
And this is what Tina and Roberta thought about playing Test cricket over 5 days.
it's got to be 5 days, especially after what we saw last week. I think we were robbed of an amazing test match, which didn't go to its full length, or it didn't even go to the 4th day, but I think the 5th day would have been even more spectacular. I think there's no reason not to have it. I think for women's sport, it's got to be the way. Because if you only have them 4 days, you limit what can happen and the drama that can happen. I think we've shown that 5 days can be equally dramatic. There can be so many different stories going on within the test matches, and you've just got to let it happen and promote it as much as we can.
I 100% believe that women's test matches should be played over 5 days. We saw what happened now within England and South Africa. We ended up in a draw, a game that easily could have had a result. Is a little bit disappointing. It's awesome to have watched the test match, but it's a little bit disappointing to not have a result, or not even a chance of a result, due to rain, and because it was only 4 days. So I'm 100% positive that we would benefit from having an extra day over there.
2 players who were missing from the England team were Anya Shrubsole and Kathryn Brunt, who had both retired from Test cricket. Was it time for the 2 of them to step down from international cricket in the case of Anya? And I know Kathryn's still going to play in ODIs and T20s.
I think if you were to look at it objectively, then yes, it's time for the new crew to come in. Looking forward to, sort of like the future ahead, 2025, etc. But in my heart, no. 2 very different personalities, but 2 absolutely cracking players that have brought so much to women's cricket. It's a shame, and to sort of like see them both at the Taunton Test supporting, the girls was fabulous. It sort of like puts a bit of a lump in your throat, really.
Yeah, Anya had played 8 Test matches and Kathryn 14, even more than yourself. You played 12, and you nearly played with Kathryn Brunt. She's been playing that long. Yeah,
we crossed over 1 match. And that was, we played in an MCC match together. It will have been about 2004, I think. But Kathryn is a Barnsley stalwart, and I've known her since she was knee high to a grasshopper. When she played for Sheffield Ladies, and I played for Wakefield Ladies, so our paths have crossed. And I do always tease her about how she got me out to a P-roller before the second bounce law, and how happy she was about it. She sort of her celebrations, even back then when she was a nipper, were quite special.
So it'd be a no ball these days?
Yes. So I'd quite like to remind her of that.
We can't go back we can't go back and correct the record books.
I don't mind. She's such a great player.
Well, talking about Kathryn and Anya, they also did 2 of the cap ceremonies when they presented caps to, in Anya's case, Lauren Bell, and in Kathryn's case, Izzy Wong. Did that sort of thing go on when you were playing?
No. You kind of like, players retired, and then you never really saw them for years. That was it. But this is like what I said earlier, is that it was just fantastic to see them both supporting the team, and really it looked like they were very, very heartfelt presentations. I mean, how fabulous to get your cap from Kathryn Brunt and Anya Shrubsole. Two players that have really changed the course of England women's cricket. Both Lauren and Izzy must have been really stoked.
Yeah, to receive it from Ashes winners, World Cup winners. Yeah. So in your day, you were just given a cap before you went on the field or something, was it?
Not even that. No, no. It's you got it. you just got it in your package of uniform, and there was no ceremony really. But what the ECB did do a few years ago was actually present they put on a really big dinner for all the England men and women players that have played in history, or the ones that, obviously were still alive. And we all got presented with a cap, which, that was a very, very special evening. So in the end, I have got an England cap being presented to me. So,
yeah, I looked up your number 116. You're going to correct me or?
No, it sounds about right.
Well, England had 4 new debutants and South Africa had 9. It was the first test that South Africa had played for 8 years. The match was played at Taunton. Is that an ideal place for a test match?
Yeah, it's a fabulous venue for women's cricket. It's very, I'd say, personable. You've got the crowd right on the edge of the pitch, and it's always so well attended at Taunton. There's some real what we call cricket badges, which is, the likes of me and you, Stephen. You get lots of cricket badges down at Taunton, and they'll go watch any cricket because they just love it. And it's always, a very good track. There's always a lot of runs scored. So you're always very well looked after. The food, I remember, is very good there. And I remember a few good nights out in Taunton, which the girls will have been allowed to do this time round because there won't have been any COVID restrictions or anything. So I would imagine the girls would have liked being able to go into Taunton and sort of like sample the very many really good restaurants that it has. So yeah, a fabulous venue.
Well, England won the toss and inserted South Africa, and they were soon in trouble. And were at one point 89 for 5. That also included Izzy Wong getting Laura Wolfhard out with her first Test match wicket before Bill Marizanne cap sort of stole the show, really.
Yeah, it's not a bad scalp, is it, on your debut, really, because Wolfhard can be very dangerous. But I mean, I think Cap's only actually played 2 tests. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, she was one of the 2 South Africans that had played a test match before this test, yeah.
Yeah, so Lee probably would have been the other one.
Yeah, she's the other one, yeah.
So, Cap's gone in, she's only played 2 tests, but it just shows what an absolute class player she is. I mean, I'd say it was sheer bloody mindness that got her, that score. I mean, she's really dug in deep, and she's, she said, she said to them, she's gone to them, she's gone, I value my wicket, and you're not going to get me out. And she's done that. And it just shows what a determined character she is and what an absolute world-class player.
Yeah, 150, 26 fours and some memorable cover drives.
Yeah, she played beautifully, really, really well. And, she actually, she saved the test match. She saved the test match for all of us because she made it into a game. I mean, just imagine if we'd have rolled South Africa over, put a massive score on it wouldn't have been exciting. She made the test match exciting for all of us, for both countries.
Well, South Africa reached 284, but England actually at one stage were 121 for 5 with Annika Bosch taking 3 wickets before Nat Siver and debutant Alice Davidson Richards put on 207 for the 6th wicket.
Yeah, I mean, we were properly limping along, and I was very impressed by Bosch, actually. Not really heard from her, heard about her. I think that she played at Brisbane Heat. Maybe she's played over in Australia. And I thought she bowled very well. But I'll have to call Alice Davidson-Richards ADR, because I can never pronounce her name, even though I've played club cricket with her. I'm going to have to, for the sake of tripping myself up, I'll call her ADR if that's all right. But I mean, Nat Siver, we've always said what an absolutely fabulous player she is with bat and ball and fielder. She's got a sensible head on her. But I'm so pleased for ADR. I think I did tip her for the top in a previous podcast.
You did, yeah.
Yeah.
I rang a bell when she got the runs, yeah.
Yeah. I just think, I'm just so pleased for her that she's got her head down and she's taken her opportunity. Over the last, few years, she's been more than capable of that innings. And she's decent with the ball. And she's got a good head on her shoulders as well, and will bring a lot to the team and the team cohesion. She's a good person to be around. But they both got stuck in. I believe they went to school together, so they've got a good rapport. They know each other well, and that's important. You bat in a pair, really, and that's what they did. It was an absolute joy to watch. I'm so pleased for both of them, even though I could be a little bit disgruntled that they've knocked myself and Barbara Daniels off the top of the highest 6-wicket stand. It couldn't have gone to two better players.
Oh, I didn't know that about the partnership, but I've got to get this stat in because on my last podcast with Roland Butcher, and this was Roland's doing, he managed to get Bill Edridge and Dennis Compton into the podcast, but I'm going to get someone even a lot more older than that, because Alice Davidson Richards, I think I better start calling her ADR.
You've got to call her ADR now. It's a tongue twister.
Yeah, I hope ADR does listen to this podcast now. ADR became the first English player in Test cricket since W.G. Grace in September 1880 to score a century and take a wicket on Test debut. It's going that far back that this 1880 Test at the Oval, they were only bowling 4 balls in an over back then. So,
wow.
So I thought I've got to get that in. I'd read it in the newspapers, but we've now got W.G. Grace mentioned on our podcast, and Nat Siver scored the 4th highest England Test score, and your 11th equal your score.
Oh,
your century.
I'm getting lower and lower down, but I don't mind. I like talking about my 144 at Scarborough in 1996. But yeah, I just love it that got to watch a test the other week, and we just need to play more. There just needs to be more tests, women's tests.
So Nat Siver just showed her class. She's shown it before with the bat and ball, and it felt almost never in doubt. When she got to the crease, you knew she was going to be there for the long haul. So she's an impressive athlete, an impressive cricketer, and she also has many very good years ahead of her for England. Marizanne Kapp, so I have the pleasure of playing with her at Fairbreak in the Falcons team a couple of weeks ago. Unfortunately, she was unwell for the majority of the tournament, but she came in for the semi-final and final and showed her class, having sat in a hotel room for a week, suddenly going out, hitting the runs, opening the bowling. So it kind of came as no surprise to me that she hit that 100 last week. she's just a classy player and a fierce competitor. Off the pitch, she's lovely and couldn't be more approachable. But I think on the pitch, you don't want to be on the receiving end of either her bowling or one of her cover drives, because she hits that ball hard.
And Nat Siver seems to be able to increase the tempo. It was like she was playing a test innings and then she was playing a one-day innings in the same innings.
Yeah, I mean, I was watching the game and I think she was on 20 or 30, turned away, and suddenly she was on 80 or 90. And to have a player like that who can really push the tempo of an innings, especially in a test match where the balance is often so delicate, it's an amazing player to have in the team. And the players around her, I think, get confidence from the way she plays as well.
Well, day 3 and day 4 were very disappointing. We had a 3-hour rain delay on day 3. England finally scored 417 for 8, leading by 133. So with Nat Siver scoring 169 not out. And then the close of day 3, South Africa were 55 for 3. And then on day 4, there was only 43 overs bowled and they finished 181 for 5, 48 ahead, with Marizanne Kapp 43 not out in the second innings.
Yeah, I mean, fabulous. And then, she was ably backed by Toomey, who played a proper Jeff Boycott innings, didn't she? Was it something like 130 balls?
134 balls, yeah. Sekahuni, 33.
Yeah, just that's a very, very important innings, because she kept one end blocked, while Kapp, just did her thing. Who knows what would have happened because of the rain, but it's just really exciting.
They added 63 for that 6th wicket. What did you think of the debutants, the 4 England debutants' performances?
Yeah, I think they really sort of like got into the whole spirit. They brought a new energy to the team. They were all chomping at the bit, really, they were very eager to get stuck in. I thought Izzy Wong bowled really well. Lauren Bell bowled very well. They all contributed, really. I mean, for Wong to come in at the last minute, she probably didn't have time to build up any nerves, but she's going to be a fabulous player. But they all brought, I think, a new energy to the team, and it was great to see.
They all seemed to be smiling, didn't they? And Lauren Bell, who got 2 wickets, and Izzy Wong, who got 3 wickets, they were both products of Chance to Shine, the national cricket charity, which went into schools.
Yeah, it's it's a fabulous charity. A lot of hard work has gone into it, and it's clearly rewarding the game greatly. So I think if you spoke to both of them, they're fond of their Chance to Shine times when they were younger. So it just shows that these type of charities are, work at grassroots, and the ECB just need to keep supporting them.
What did you think to the 4 debutants who played for England last week?
Incredible. So the one I would pick out is Izzy Wong. I've trained with her a bit at the Central Sparks in the last few months, and she's just an amazing competitor. She trains like she plays. She plays practice games like she's bowling for England, and then she bowled for England in exactly the same way. I think the passion she has for the game and how she approaches the game, but also the competition, her teammates, is really admirable. And I think she's got a really good future ahead of her for England.
So what would be your test match highlight for England, South Africa?
Do you know, I think I've got 2, and they're not really anything to do with the cricket. Obviously, I loved everything about the game, but my first one would be seeing Kathryn Brunt with a pint, enjoying the game, and cheering Nat Siver on. I thought that was great. And the second one was after the match where on the day when ADR had scored all her runs, the camera panned onto her with her parents. I'm getting emotional thinking about it because I know how much her parents have supported her over the years. And, I've seen her dad pace the boundary at Hayes Cricket Club in Kent on numerous occasions when ADR's been bowling or batting. And I've had to, there's been times when I've had to take her off the boundary because he'd be chatting to her after she'd bowled. And I'd have to put her up to first slip or something to stop him distracting her. I know how much it means to her, but her parents as well. I mean, you've got to acknowledge all cricket parents and the mileage that they do and the money that they pay to support their children. It's fabulous. So I'd say that was a massive highlight to see that. And Kathryn Brunt with a pint, of course.
Well, hopefully we'll now get ADR's parents to listen to the podcast now.
Yes. I'm sure probably a dad already does.
Well, and this is what Tina and Roberta had for their highlights of the Test match.
It was such a shame that it didn't go the distance because I think there would have been more highlights. I think the debutants, seeing them pick up their first wickets, I would probably pick out Izzy Wong, her first wicket. I think probably if you asked her a couple of weeks ago, she would have not even dreamt of playing this match, let alone bowling, playing such a key role. So you could see the joy on her face when she got that first wicket. I'm sure she'll never forget that for the rest of her life.
Well, I think there are two things that made me so happy. First was Izzy Wong. I love her. I have been following her career for so long now. And I see the potential that she has as a bowler. She's a fierce player. So for me, Kathryn Brunt's presentation for Izzy Wong, giving her the cap, was very emotional and very, very, very real. I really love that. And to see her bowling and taking wickets and giving something different to the English bowling team, I think it was very good. And Marizanne Kapp, what a star. The test looked very bad in the start. Not bad, but South Africa was losing a little bit of it. And Marizanne Kapp just came and scored 150 runs plus. And it was very good to see that. So, yeah, I think Izzy Wong and Kapp were definitely the highlights for me.
So we've mentioned it already, but the future of women's Test match cricket, you'd like to see more of them.
Yeah, I think I go on about it all the time. I think I mentioned it in every podcast that we've done. Yeah,
and yet the ICC, their chairperson Greg Barclay said recently it's unlikely to be part of the landscape of the future.
I might be being naive, but I can't believe that he said that, and we must be taking it out of context. He must have hopefully rectified himself in the next sentence, because it's really poor thing to say. I was very upset at that.
Because our previous podcast guest, your former competitor, the England head coach Lisa Keightley, called the comments disappointing and called for more multi-day cricket.
Yeah, again, I've said this in previous podcasts and talking about myself a little bit, but I grew up playing timed cricket and declaration cricket, and I think that stands you in good stead to be in that mindset of how to build a test innings, or how to bowl a team out quickly, and how to progress with your match tactics, and how to learn all these things that makes test cricket great. And I think it's a good solid base for all the other formats. I think it's like test cricket is grassroots game of cricket, and it should be played in order to progress the other formats.
And do you think there should be more test matches, despite what the ICC have said?
Absolutely. I think what we saw last week was the best advertisement we could have had for women's test matches. It wasn't England, Australia. It was another country, South Africa, and they put on an amazing show. It was a fantastic advert for cricket and also for women's sport as a whole. And I think having more of those can only be good for the sport.
And do you think there should be more test matches?
Oh, absolutely. It's a shame that players like Sophie Devine don't play test matches. It's a shame that New Zealand's not playing test matches. We want to see more. You can see that when that is happening, how much Twitter loves it, how much we are talking about it. Of course, there's always people that are going to be against women's playing tests, but I do believe that extended pathway for the players and for the bigger nations should happen to play a longer format. Test develops as different skills in the other games, and I think every other format is going to benefit from it.
We have got an exciting summer of cricket ahead, though. We've got the South Africans playing T20s, 3 T20s, 3 ODIs as part of this multi-format series with England. Score at the moment 2 points each. We've also got India playing 3 T20s and 3 ODIs, one of them being played at Lord's on September the 24th. We've also got the Commonwealth Games, which starts on the 28th of July. And, of course, the 100, where we've got some more leading players from Australia playing this year.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's going to be a big dent on my surfer with all that. I can't see myself going out of the house, really. I might have to do a bit of work in the meantime. But, yeah, how brilliant is that, though? All that cricket accessible to everyone all over the world. I'm hoping to go to some games myself, but it's just really exciting. It's a really exciting time, and I think the Commonwealth Games is going to be fabulous. I mean, it's all very new and what have you, but it's getting all those nations together. Yeah, just fabulous. But more fixtures in Brighton, please.
And with the Commonwealth Games and the 100, we're going to get quite a lot of cricket on terrestrial television as well.
Yeah, which again, widens it to the bigger community and around the world. So it can only be positive, really.
So, despite the rain, which ruined the result, England have got a lot of new players, young players playing for the Test side and also in the white ball series to look ahead to. So the prospects look good for the England side.
Yeah, I think so. And, it's just a shame that Tash Farrant was injured because, she's got to come back into the mix as well. That, having a left, I've always said this, having a decent left armour really makes a team, really strong. So it'll be interesting, if she gets back in. Exciting times, really.
But they've got to be very strong to match the mighty Australians, there, haven't they?
Yeah. We'll just have to see. I mean, Australia are, fabulous. They just keep getting all these, new players in, and they perform. But I think we've got a good chance on our day. The T20s and the Commonwealth Games competition. Anything can happen in competitions. So. We're on home turf, which is good. So, we've just got to be strong and take it to the Aussies and do our best, and be consistent in the tournament.
Well, fingers crossed. Thanks very much again for joining me on the Paddock and the Pavilion. Hopefully ADR's mum and dad will all three of them will be listening to the podcast. I won't say Alice Davidson Richards ever again. It'll always be ADR.
It's got to be ADR. But again, thanks very much for inviting me. Thanks to everyone for listening. Really hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Thank you for listening to The Paddock and the Pavilion. You can download the show on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, SoundCloud, Stitcher and Spotify.
Follow us on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram at The Pad and Pav. Don't forget, if you like the show, please do leave us a rating and review.
Sports Social Podcast Network.
Looking for a fun way to win 25 times your money this football and basketball season? Test your skills on Prize Picks, the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projection for a wide variety of stats, and place your entry. It's as easy as that. If you have the skills, you can turn $10 into $250 with just a few taps. Easy gameplay, quick withdrawals, and injury insurance on your picks are what make Prize Picks the #1 daily fantasy sports app. Ready to test your skills? Join the Prize Picks community of more than 7 million players who have already signed up. Right now, Prize Picks will match your first deposit up to $100. Just visit prizepicks.com/play100 and use code play100. That's code play100 at prizepicks.com/play100 for a first deposit match up to $100. Prize Picks, daily fantasy sports made easy.